Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube repair channel. Classic Arcade Repairs. Sean here with you for another one. What is this? This is some packing. This thing was packed to the gills. These are all the boxes that it was packed in. And this is what we got here. This is a CinemaTronics vector monitor. This is next up to be repaired. This obviously is out of a Star Castle. You see the rings. Star Castle. The word on this is that it just pops breakers. So this is what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove the chassis from here and take that over and kind of look it over. I'm going to pull these heat sinks off and test our transistors and all that. That's the first thing I'm going to do, is just kind of look it over, give it a once over, and then we will put the meter to the transistors and test those. And test all the ones on the board as well. See if anything's burnt up. Look at the solder connections. Just kind of look everything over. So I'm going to go ahead, disassemble this thing, and start working on it that way. Okay, initial thoughts. I got the chassis up here on the bench, and I'm looking it over. These resistors have been replaced with, this is an upgrade. I usually like to do this on the bottom of the board. Yeah, because the ones that these replace, they flame out. These will just open, so we'll check these. And I may transport them to the bottom of the board. It's just much cleaner that way. These have obviously been replaced, or at least the heat sinks have. This has not been reflowed. That needs to be checked and resoldered. Yeah, these have been replaced. Look at, we got some torn up traces a little bit. But they seem to have been repaired. It's kind of ugly. The voltage regulators will be replaced. There's 3 of them. 79, 78, 15s and a 7805. We'll replace those. These guys are under suspicion. These 3 chips right here will pop circuit breakers. What would be a good thing to do is use my transistor tester and test all of these, because that will tell you, even if they look like they're good, it'll tell you if they're really bad. So I might end up doing that. Put these on my transistor kind of curve tester and test those things. And I think it'd be a good idea to probably replace these sockets. This one may have already been replaced, but these 24-pin sockets for the DACs should probably be replaced. I want to get the 2 heat sinks off of there, and those transistors can be checked, power transistors. All right, well, I did not have the camera rolling. I was going to just plug this thing in and then get the camera. Well, I had this on current limit, like it is, and I just wanted to check some voltages, and as soon as I turned on that thing, something snapped and something blew up. So I just had the desoldering gun out and I removed all the tantalums, I removed the regulators, all these transistors over in this area, because something over here blew up, and I think it was a transistor, but we're going to test all of that. But now anyway, if I turn on the power, I get the voltages that I'm supposed to get everywhere. So, and I'm going to tip this thing up like so that I can get to the stuff on the regulators and whatnot, so that I can just see what's going in and that kind of stuff. Okay, I still have it on current limit. Still limiting the current. I just want to check voltages. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And we're going to, this is the 5-volt regulator. Input is 21 volts, that's good. Over here we have, that's ground. There it is, negative 21. So our voltages are now good. Our voltages that are going to the regulators. And it's good to have that on current limit in case you'd slip and do a short or something. It's not really going to hurt anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away. And we're going to test some of those parts that I pulled. Okay. And I did do some tests on the case transistors, and they seemed to be fine. They test fine. Now internally, when they are working, are they good? I don't know. The regulators are right here. We're going to mess with these transistors. I think the 5-volt regulator is what blew up, possibly. I don't see any dead shorts. But once again, 7805. Let me grab a new one and do some testing on a new one. Yeah, I don't think this is bad. Okay. So now tantalums. And I dropped some. I dropped a couple of them. Yeah, they all seem to be okay. So I don't know what blew up and smoked. I want to find that the final cap. Where did you go? Let me try to find it. Okay, for the last thing of the evening, I tested the 7406 in my little chip tester, and it tested good. I went ahead and removed all of the diodes, all of the semiconductors from this area. And I tested every one of them, and they all tested good. But something ain't good. Something wasn't good because something happened. I'm going to clean this board up, and then I will repopulate it. Yeah, then we'll see what it does then. Okay, I've got the thing all prettied up. All new caps, transistors, regulators, diodes. I tested this chip. The 7406 is fine. Yeah, I replaced all the diodes, all the transistors, everything in there. In this section right here. I didn't mess with anything from here over, other than cleaning. Inspecting and cleaning. But this was pretty much rebuilt, other than the resistors, of course. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get my CinemaTronics board out, because I don't think it's good to turn this thing on without a signal coming to it. So we're going to do all that, hook a signal up to it, and see if the yoke gives us some chatter. Okay, we're all hooked up. I got the board hooked up with power. Yep. Connector here. This is connected. The two deflection transistors, heat sinks are connected, and the yoke is connected. I got it on current limit. I'm going to fire it up on current limit to begin with. See if we get any smoke or pops or anything. And we're going to look for this light to flash. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. Okay. We need to bypass that, so I'm going to go ahead and bypass. And here we go. And the good news is I can hear the yoke. And our light is off, so that means that this thing is actually working. I want to take a peek and watch my fuses down here. Yeah, I can hear the game. I hear it. I can hear the chatter on the yoke, and I don't see any fuse glowing. Fuses are good. I don't see, it's not failing at all. This thing is actually good. So what I did here was this thing had a lot of NTE parts and a lot of parts like that. I don't really like NTE parts, to be honest. So I replaced it with actual, what is actually supposed to be in the board. New regulators, new diodes, new caps, all that stuff. So I think we can go ahead and put that monitor back together and run this board on the monitor. You can hear the chatter. Okay, we got the monitor all hooked up now. Everything's plugged in. Okay, high voltage is plugged in. Cable, power. We're ready to fire it up. See what we get. We'll be watching and listening for sparks. Here we go. We got high voltage. We got deflection. And we got Star Castle. There she is. Let me turn the brightness up just a touch. There we go. Yeah, that looks really good. It's a little shaky. You know what I want to do is try another set of deflection transistors and see if it takes this shaky out of it. Can't really see it very well through the camera, I don't think, but it's kind of shaky. So I'm gonna put a different set of deflection transistors in this thing and see how it looks. Okay, I've hooked up these deflection transistors here to it, and I'm gonna fire it up and see if that shakiness goes away. No, it's not a lot better. These pots down there, I want to clean those blue pots, spray some deoxit down in them and kind of work them a little bit, and then revisit. Okay, I cleaned the pots and it's still a little bit shaky. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 brand new decks in this board and see what happens. Okay, put a couple new decks in the board, and it's still a little shaky, and it looks like it's on the x-axis over here. It looks like it's only this quadrant, kind of. It's actually not terrible, but it's noticeable. But the monitor looks great, nice and bright, and it's not blowing fuses or nothing like that. So, yeah. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the original deflection transistors back on it and check out the jiggle again. Because I think I noticed this text down here, the CinemaTronics text down here, was really kind of doing this. So I want to check that again. Just doing one at a time. I connected this heatsink right here down to the board right there. I'm still running the x-axis off of this right here. Yeah, so, and it's pretty solid. It's not all shaky. So let's go ahead and pop the other original deflection transistors back on there and take a look at it. Okay, we're back to original deflection transistor heatsink assemblies. And it is pretty solid. So that tells me that we did need to clean those pots. But we still have a little bit of jitterness over here. But the stars are solid. These stars over here are absolutely solid. I'm going to put the original DACs back in it, because I don't think this is a DAC issue at all. Okay, yeah, with the original DACs in the board, it is noticeably more shaky. It definitely was much better with the new DAC 80s. I am tempted to just replace all of the deflection preamplifiers and see if we can get that wobbliness out. This thing might need new DACs and new deflection preamplifiers. Why is that doing that? Okay, I'm going through all of these transistors with my transistor curve tester. And this is an NPN. And you'll see what a good curve looks like. Let me kind of move it over. It's got basically 8 lines, amplification lines. And it'll come out and it'll be a nice straight line. It's kind of a which one doesn't fit in situation. This is the only one that looks like this. It actually looks like a flag, kind of. But the other ones immediately start amplifying. This one doesn't. It's just not the same. It's different. So I'm going to replace this transistor. And the other ones are fine. I'll put them back in the board. The other ones all have nice curves. Like a woman. Nice curves. Anyway, yeah, so I think we found our bad guy right here. Okay, and this is the 2102 transistor, which is acts as a current regulating transistor in the circuit. And this is what that trace looks like. That's a good one. Okay, this one's PNP. And you can see here on this curve, it starts pretty much right at the beginning and starts amplifying right away. This one has a couple of those that are doing the flag thing as well. Take a notice here how this starts pretty much at the beginning. And I will go ahead and put this guy on there. Okay. And this one doesn't start amplifying right away. It's not as bad as that one. But still, that's like an anomaly. It's like a difference. I don't like that. It's a difference. Let me grab a brand new one and see. It's a PNP is this guy right here. Okay. Well, this one actually has a bigger trace, but it doesn't. It does the same thing. But this one's just kind of a different looking. I guess that ain't a big deal. I don't know. It's something different though, and I don't like different. So it seems to be that I have another pretty much dead transistor, which is a 3906. I blew this transistor up by putting it in this tester and having it on power transistor instead of small signal. So I actually blew this up. It was not bad when it was in the board. Just a small signal PNP transistor with basically no amplification. If I pop the other one in there's one per circuit. That's what it's supposed to look like. Small signal amplifier. But yeah, this one's basically dead. So I'll replace that. I'm going to replace this one too. It's a 3906. They're pennies. So I just wanted to test everything. You know, let's go ahead and repopulate this thing. I mean, this thing was hacked up. Taking it apart was kind of ugly. It's really hacked up over here. You'll see. It's broken traces, pads broken. It's pretty ugly. I replaced these two sockets, the DAC sockets. So we're going to go ahead, repopulate, and we should be good to go once we get some good parts in this thing. All right, it's done. It's ugly, but it's done. This was a tough trace repair as this thing was so hacked up. I ended up just replacing parts so that I had longer leads to work with. Very hacky sack. I replaced both of these outside transistors. This one I actually had a spare proper heatsink. So there you go. So we'll go ahead, put this thing back together, fire it up, see how it looks. See if it doesn't blow up. Alright, well, after all the hackiness, yep, we are ready for first fire up and see what happens. What do you think? You think we're going to blow something up? Let's see. Here it goes. That didn't sound good. Something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Did I forget something? Or did I put something in wrong? Yeah, something ain't right. It's just making a constant bzzz noise. So something definitely is not correct. Well, it turns out we got two breaks from here. This is loose, you see. So from here all the way over to here is broken. And this right here is broken. So I just need to solder these down, fix this, patch this up. And go through and check everything else. I did my diode checks on all the transistors. I did not put the wrong transistor in. It's just broken, these broken traces. Alright, well, I'm glad that I took this apart and found those broken traces, because this would not have worked with those traces broken, but I forgot to plug it in. I forgot to plug power into it. I had to plug in that transistor tester. So yeah, this time I'll plug it in. It would not have worked. There would have been no deflection before. But now I've got that fixed up. I'm going to plug it in, plug everything up, and we'll fire it up. Okay, now we're ready. Let's fire it up. Uh-oh. This board's acting weird. And it's still doing the same thing. Alright, I did put the original DACs back in it, so let me change out the DACs again. Okay, I put 2 new DACs in it, and it's way, way better. I mean, it's... Yeah, the player 1 and player 2 are a little bobbly. But when it comes to gameplay, it's right on. It's way better with the new DACs. It's way better. All in all, I think it looks pretty darn good. I've got the board right here. This thing's up here. It's pretty solid. It's not going anywhere. And we'll let this thing sit here and run for a while. Looks really good. So anyway, yeah, the complaint was this thing was popping circuit breakers, and so I think we're good to go now. I'm going to wrap this one up. Star Castle monitor, CinemaTronics. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now. P.S. I found out why my board was acting funny. This dip switch was one of the very last pin was flaky between on and off. But I did go ahead and program a regular set of EPROMs instead of having these 2816s. I just programmed a regular set of 2716s. And there you go. So I'm going to let this go ahead and run now. And I replaced all of these sockets on this board because they were kind of flaky. So I replaced all those 24-pin sockets. Should be good to go. Should be no more flakage. So there you go. Post addendum. Last one, I promise. Well, one more ditch effort or whatever to eliminate this little wobble. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just something that I'm like, if I can try to get it out, I'll try. But it's just got a little itty bitty wobble there. I went and I replaced all of the small signal diodes that are in the X circuit. I will zoom in to where they are so that you can see. And I replaced the op amp. Right there's the op amp right next to the pot. And the four little signal diodes are right in this section right here. And I replaced this transistor right here and put a proper CinemaTronics heatsink on it. I replaced that one because I didn't like the way the traces were on the bottom, and I needed a new transistor with leads so that I could connect them properly. So yeah, I actually took the old transistor with the really super big heatsink and just popped it in here. You know, this one will work in a pinch, but I needed more lead on there to anchor it down better on the traces to where it would actually last. So a lot of trace repair type stuff like that. I got new DACs in it. It seems to behave a lot better with new DACs. These ones are technically good. These two right here, so those are just going back to the customer for extras, but I recommend using the new ones because it does behave better with the new ones in it. Yeah, so I rebuilt. Oh, and another thing I did. I wanted to mention this in case anyone asks. I did put a different high voltage unit on it, and it still had the little shake. And it only does the shake on the player screen. It doesn't do it on the game screen. It only does it like this. And I think that's just not a big deal. Anyway, I did try a different high voltage unit in this, and it acted the same way. So it was not the high voltage unit. Yeah, so, and we knew it's not the deflection transistors because I popped different ones in. I plugged in different deflection transistors, so that's not it. I basically rebuilt the brightness section. Because if you remember, when I first powered this thing up, something blew up. And I couldn't exactly put my finger on what blew up, but something did because I could smell electronic smoke. So I basically replaced everything in that section. I tested the 7406, it's fine. Replaced the regulators. I have a suspicion that the 5-volt regulator is what blew up. So that's all new. All those tantalum caps are replaced. This board was acting funny. I found out the real cause. I actually went and I removed this jumper pack and actually put short resistors in. They're just 0 ohm resistors. What it was actually the ground wire on my plug was hanging by a thread and it actually broke. So I actually put an extra, now I have 2 5-volt and 2 ground wires going to this. That's why this thing was flaking, because it was losing ground. But yeah, I did a little maintenance to my board anyway, replaced the sockets and put actual EPROMs in it. So, and I'm glad that I eliminated that jumper pack. You know, it was just a jumper series there. I eliminated that. I'm never going to use this for testing anything, so just short those together so it's never an issue. Yeah, so anyway, there you go. And I crimped a new jumper cable from the board to the monitor. I created that new cable because I wanted to make sure that I had a good one. There you go. That's my addendum to the addendum, and this is going to do it now. I'm going to go ahead and put this together and upload it. This thing ran for 3 hours last night without fail after I fixed my board. And I just went through and I did that other work on it. I just did that other work, and I've had it running for about an hour now. So it's good to go. No longer popping fuses or anything like that. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. If you get anything out of this, consider helping the channel by joining channel memberships. Check me out over on Patreon. All that good stuff. I appreciate it, everybody. See you on the next one, and bye for now.